don't think I'm on. Hello people, just bear with me as usual, 2 seconds. Hope everybody's doing good. Right, I think that should be me. How's it going people? I'll just have a wee look and see who's here. I've not really got much planned for tonight, just the usual. I'm just going to wing it. If anybody wants to come in, have a chat, say hello, then by all means do so. I don't really have any topics. There's a couple of wee points I want to cover tonight though, regarding, one of the points being the track that's being used, and they got the line about, I don't believe in God. I'm going to talk about that, because it keeps coming up all the time, and just how the general progress is. So who we got here? Anyway. Squirrel Sniper, Anders Ace, how you doing? Fallen Angel, Jan, Pete West, Sam J, Markovsky, good evening. Billy Sunday, Jamie Brown, how you doing, Jamie? Yorkshire Last Tracy, how are you? Sorry, he's jumping, hang on. Crystal Shift, Louis, how you doing? Lenny Harry, Zwitcher's Elf, Andy Borthwick, how you doing, Andy? Cheers, my man. Dundee Tayside, how you doing? The Awakening, how you doing? Anthony McGrain, how you doing, bud? Flat Earth and Hot Potatoes, how are you? Magumba, how you doing, my man? Preston Vaughan, Wisdom Keeper 11. A merry-go-round spins and I feel sick when I get off. Thankfully on Flat Earth I feel fine as it doesn't spin. John, how are you? Rockin, Marion Sommer. Anyway, right, I'm not going to keep you through everybody's name in chat. So, what did I have written down? A couple of wee points here. As I say, it's been a really busy week, so I don't have anything, established for what I was going to talk about or anything tonight. It's pretty much just been, working on the street stuff, refining that, and whatever else is going on, family and everyday life stuff that we have to deal with. So, I am getting some comments regarding the whole line about I don't believe in God. Now, I can't answer for anybody else, but I repeat it over and over again. I'm honest with myself. I'm not honest enough to look at the place and say, look, nothing happens without something happening. And for me, there has to be mind involved. Mind has to be, at the root of this. Consciousness in some level. The stories I've went over this a million times. For anybody who's heard it a million times, I apologise, but life and consciousness arising from non-living matter is just preposterous. The more and more you look at this, especially when you remove the globe, it's obvious that it's a design in some way. It is a construction. So I'll get to that. But first of all, again, people who may be new to this or whatever, on this channel, on this platform, there is no claim to any model. The reality of the situation is that the globe has, found wanting absolutely zero proof for it. The situation now is that nobody here knows exactly what the full dimensions are. We can, put hypotheses out there and people are working on it, which is fair enough. But here, for me, it's a waste of time. We need full exploration in order to falsify or verify anybody's model or map. So until that's achieved, I think it's pointless. But it still doesn't stop people from working on it. But here the claim is purely the Earth is not a globe. The reason it's not a globe is because there's zero fucking proof for it. And that's it. So the rest is just guessing games. I say to people, these books that we've had, for however many generations, religious books, whatever teachings you like about history or any of that stuff, for me, it's absolutely pointless now. I do not trust any of it. The reality of my situation is I'm just a man who's born, 30 odd years ago. I have no direct experience or relation to anything that happened previous to that in the past. It's really I don't, give it any space in my mind and dwell on any of that. So the religious books and all these things for me need to be ditched. It's time for people to realise that, we've been sold a lie. We bought a lie actually, and now we need to, rediscover where we are, who we are, why we're here. And if we're stuck here, we can then look at, a better way of life, of living here. But for me, I don't think we need to be here. I think there's more to it than just this place. Even if you're somebody who thinks it's some sort of dome enclosed structure, it would be a construct then, and you would have to concede that the construct must exist inside a larger environment or within a larger environment. So either way, if there's more land, there's something beyond the construct, whatever. That's, again, I don't spend too much time, thinking about that. Obviously we live in a pressurized system in some form or other. So for me, it would suggest that it's some sort of enclosed place we live in. Whatever that might be. It could be anything. So I just need to always get that out there to people, just so that, any trolls, and again, anybody who thinks they can prove the globe is welcome. I'm not really in the mood for it tonight, but if they want, it's there. It's simple, and that's how it works. You just go with burden of proof. Where is the claim? The claim for every single one of us is that it's a globe, or it was a globe, and that's where the answers. If you're asking questions, it should be directed at that. If you're having people coming to you demanding that you answer questions to a straw man, being some other flat Earth model for whatever way that they came about, if people are asking you to answer questions on that, don't bother your ass. It's a straw man. Point that out to them right away. At the end of the day, the truth is simple. You don't know, are you? So these idiots who waste time throwing straw men up to attack, their game. They want to string it out into a debate and have this hoo-ha going on. And again, the natural world, the objective truth is not up for debate. It just is what it is. We have to form a method and an understanding and agree on certain terminologies and languages that we're using in order to establish what the objective truth is. For me, again, I think it must be contained in some way. Obviously, the oceans must be contained. Water, bodies of water do not conform to the exterior of shapes. You cannot have convexity in a body of water and have it hold it. We have meniscus in the top of glasses and cups, surface tension. We have adhesion with, water clinging to certain surfaces. But the globe has to represent its claims accurately. Now, we're talking about vast bodies of water, convex, forming stuck to the outside of a globular rock. Absolutely preposterous, considering we can't observe, recreate that in any way, shape or form. So it's a done deal here on this platform. There is no argument. People will still come and try and make it a debate. Usually the globe believers will come here with an assumption, and their assumption is a straw man, and that's what we've found 95% of the time. So got that out of the road. Back to the God thing. That line for me, if I say I don't believe in God, I don't believe in, these ideas that are put towards me. I've played with them so many times, I've looked at them, and it just breaks down. Now, if there was to be a singular God, and I've said this before many times, the only thing that I would respect is that he wants equals. Now, all this subservience and, you're just at the whim of these higher entities and powers, bollocks. If there is such a thing as a higher being, then it better want an equal or it can fuck off. And that's it for me. So, and as I say, it's not just because that's what I want, I've played with these ideas and they break down. And I'm willing to have discussions with people about their ideas of creation and God. But I'm not willing to have people just telling me that's the way it is, because it's, at the end of the day, you don't have proof of that. You don't know. The same as I don't know. I can logically deduce, look at the evidence and the proofs run about me to say that, things don't just happen for no reason. And as I say, to suggest that matter, life and consciousness can arise from non-living matter is absolutely ridiculous. So it leaves me with, mind had to be first, and how this actually came to be is a whole story. But if we can focus on what's important, i.e., raising awareness, getting the numbers up, and taking control and responsibility for our lives, and no being subservient to anybody's power and listening to any fucking stories and bullshit that it pushes, we can use the military. The military is there. We can map the place properly. We can find out exactly what's going on. People will say that's an ideal scenario, but I can only aim for that. That's where I know it has to be. Otherwise, you're going to sit in the middle, reading your books, arguing with each other, and somebody's going to come along and offer you the next false paradigm. And I'm not accepting any of that. It's time for us to, properly evolve, and get to the next level, because I'm fucking tired of this. Ever since I was a kid, I knew there was something wrong with this, and I questioned why people were so, they just seemed so sure that they had a grip in life, and this is just the way life is, and, I'm sitting going, nah, there's something seriously amiss here. And it's time for it to change as far as I'm concerned. This has become part of my life, a huge part now, and nothing is really more important than establishing where I actually am. Any other aspect that you tell me or push to me about what life's about and what you should do and morals and good, right, wrong, all these things, how can I gauge any of that until I know exactly where I am? Without knowing where you are, you don't have the proper grounding. You don't know the rules of the game. You don't know why you're here. all these things that you think are just life are illusions, and delusions if you're buying into them. Right? The reality is, I don't know what life is. I don't know why I'm here, how I got here, but I'm determined to fucking know, and I always have been determined to know. I'm like everybody else. I lost myself for a certain period in my life, trying to mould myself to fit the programming and the culture and everything that everybody was telling me. But never once did it sit right with me. Never once was I successful at it, because it's an illusion. It's flawed. It's not right. So I'm an explorer at heart. I think we all are at heart. The whole game for me is in an overview, when I look at it now, is psychological control and restriction, and physical control and restriction. Now, if they want to stop your natural instinct to explore and to move freely on the earth that you're upon, then for me they've got something to hide. There's something else there. Yeah. So I hope that clears up the whole God question for people. I'm not a materialist. If people don't understand what a materialist is, I suggest that you investigate philosophical materialism and look at some of these philosophies, and then you can see, the angle that these people pushed, especially in the scientific community. They start from assumptions and premises and, try and set out to prove them. But, science, the real core of science, should never be religious in any way, shape or form. Now, religion's not just about going to church and going to, your place of worship. Religion is worldviews, symbols, texts. It's all these aspects, and that's why I class the globe, because, it's symbol worship, and all they have is text. Now, I can get explanations from a Christian, a Muslim, a Catholic about their religion. I can look at their text and their symbols, but their explanations and their symbols and their texts is no proof that their religion is true. Now, the same is true for the globe. It has images, symbols, and loads of text, and that's about it. Look at the 10 best proofs. The number one is images, right? Now, we can't throw out natural physics and real science in favour of images. We're going to get into dangerous territory there. That has to be ditched. And as far as I'm concerned, there is zero curvature. The place is covered in water. Water has a definite physical behaviour to it. And I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that where we are must be able to contain that. Now, that rules out a globe. So any institution that's offering me images that contradict natural physics, they should be ignored. So I really don't care about NASA or any of these fucking morons anymore. The natural world's there for us all to observe and test and see for ourselves. And if images are contradicting it, then it's the images that have to go. Okay? So, excuse me, I get a wee smoke. And that's the other aspect of the globe. People check out what sophism is. It's a clever argument, especially one that's designed to deceive. That's probably the definition or description you'll get. And that's what it's full of, right? Playing on optics, playing on our lack of understanding on how our eyes work, how perception works. These types of things that need to be established and looked at more and more detail, which, obviously Gav and other people are doing as we speak. So, we'll get to the bottom of it. But people saying they're viewing things over water and thinking it's going over the curve of the water, or something's disappeared beyond the curve of the water, well, you're wrong, because water does not display and hold convexity in large bodies. That is absolutely preposterous. Now, we know that to be a fact of reality, repeatable and testable by everybody. So then we need to establish, well, obviously there's something going on with the optics, there's something going on with our eyes and how perception and how we see things, and that's what we need to work on, right? The globe's done. It's fucking dead. It's a done deal here, right? It's no dogmatic. I don't have any beliefs. Right? I base this purely on what is I can observe in the objective world. It's not a belief. A belief to me is something you hold to be true, especially something without any proof. Right? Now, I don't believe that the fire will burn me. Right? Through experience, I know the fire will burn me. Right? So there's a difference. I don't have to believe that it will burn me for it to burn me. It actually just is that way. That's the way the objective world actually is. So I hope that's clear for people, because you see this a lot from the globe, and they come at you with these, the same kind of religious type arguments, and it's so contradictory. If they want to deny there is an objective reality there, then what I've just said, I don't have to believe in the fire. The fire will burn me, regardless of, even if I'm aware of fire, it still will burn me. So there is an objective world that we explore, and for me, they're hiding something. They're hiding some other place, maybe a way out of this construct. And again, I'll reiterate it. If people agree that it's a design, it's a creation, it's a construct, then it has to exist within a larger environment. And I hope people get a grasp of that and become aware of that. you know. Also, this other point, I get some crazy messages from some crazy people thinking that I'm getting narcissistic or whatever. You know, I have always, you know, tried to keep my integrity there and try to represent the truth in the best way I could, to be totally honest. And I will always keep to that. I'm not losing myself. I will never be anybody's celebrity, anybody's idol. I'm not in it for any of that. I'm in it because I want to know where I am, regardless of what anybody else wants. You know, that's my drive. My passion is to know where I am. Without that, you know, nothing means anything. You know, with my subjective experiences, my family, the people I care about, that means something to me. But in regards to life and what it means and what it's about, you know, anything that these cultures are offering me, I'm not interested. I need to establish where I am first, and I want to know exactly where I am. I think people need to start having that attitude. You know, I've heard it before. Oh, you can't ask governments. No, I'm not asking them. I'm fucking demanding. And if they don't fucking come forth and start being honest and transparent, then they need to be outed, you know, and real people take over and a new method is put in place. If we are stuck here, which I highly doubt, right? And another aspect of that is people talking about, you know, nature, mother nature, all these ideas. Where do you get a grasp on that? How do you know this is exactly where you're meant to be? You don't, right? So I think we need to stop all this. Let go of it, let go of our insecurities. I know and understand why people cling to some of these ideas and religions through fear, but in reality, you know, we can find out. You know? I don't know why that would be scary for people. For me, it's extremely exciting, and I think it will be when you can, you know, put that to the majority of people. You know, outer space nonsense and planets and far off galaxies is just unattainable. But when you know, understand that that's no reality, and that the possibility is that laterally we could be going to other worlds, people will get excited about that. You know, that's achievable, no problem. So anyway, I think I've got done with my ranting. If anybody would like to come in and say hello, I see Yorkshire Lass Tracy. It was great to see that she had done a wee video and came out and put herself out there. It was wonderful to see. I really respect that, you know, the bravery that it takes and the courage to go on camera and put yourself out there is really wonderful to see. And there's a few others. Bling Bling was another one recently I seen. And there's been a few others. You know, I apologise if I forget names. There's just so much going on now that it's hard to keep track of everything. So, do I have anybody here? Marshall, are you all right, man?
Yeah, I'm cool, dude. I've just put the message out now, dude. Links available by request for anybody that's new. If they want to have an ask, and either leave a mail in the chat box or a mail to nocrow@gmx.com, we can hook you up with a link. But yeah, I think John and both John and Ali might be in a little while, dude. So well,
I look forward to that.
nocrow@gmx.com, we can hook the link.
Well, yeah, I might have known. Well, that'll be good. You know, I look forward to John coming because I want to bring up some aspects of, you know, John in the interviews and some of the comments that people have made. So you need to remember, people, when you come in, if you're watching the live event on YouTube, before you come into the actual hangout, you need to mute the sound on the YouTube, and then you'll hear us directly when you come into the hangout. But if you're watching on YouTube, it's going to cause an echo. So, here we go. Ali and John, how are you both? Oh, Ali's still sorting himself out. John, are you okay?
Good, Dale, thanks. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. I see you've been enjoying your wee street interviews.
Yes, very much so, but just putting it on hold before we put it upload.
Sorry, what's that?
Just putting it on hold for a wee while before we put it on uploads. But there's still a few more to do of you, though, Dale, in Glasgow. Yeah. So I'm busy editing those as well. So
yeah, because we still have some interviews from that day. Maybe with a couple of quite interesting ones that day as well. So it was a good day.
Aye. At the beginning of it, it shows all the different people who are being interviewed. So there's 2 or 3 to come from Glasgow.
Yeah, it's been great to see yourself going out and doing a bit as well.
Oh, yeah, thanks very much, Dale. It's all down to you, man.
Am I coming through, am I?
Yeah, I can hear you, Ali.
Good stuff. All right, how you doing?
How you doing, Ali?
Great, man.
Not so bad. Good. Another good video came out there. They were 2 cool guys.
Brilliant, weren't they?
We talked much afterwards, or?
No, we never talked much with the 2 lads after that. They were in a bit of a rush to go. But usually usually we do get a wee chat with people afterwards, you know. And again, it's just a testament to people and, you know, humans and how they're portrayed, and, you know, the difference between how people are portrayed and how they actually respond to you, you know. It was great. Obviously, you get some people who just put their head down and they don't want to know, but you're never met with any abuse.
Yeah. Not like when you're on the net.
No.
So.
Yeah, completely different. Yeah.
Yeah, you never meet any of these.
But as I was saying, I think last week, I think the camera does help, because nobody wants to be recorded being abusive or even being racist or something. So I think people do check themselves and they're being polite because of the camera. But a lot of them would be polite anyway. I think most of them that we've met are quite genuine people who you can gauge that they're probably like that anyway.
Well,
if you stand at a bus stop anywhere in Scotland, even in Denmark or even in England as well, if you're standing at a bus stop, you end up talking to people anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, if you want to, you always talk to an old geezer or you know, whatever. So it's like people talk normal. It's just when you get on the internet and the people that are anonymous, they kind of take the piss a bit.
Yeah, they feel safe. Yeah.
Well, you know, again, you know, I'll highlight that. For me, these groups, the majority of them on social media are, you know, control groups. They're organised, and that's evident to pretty much, you know, everybody now. I don't think anybody's doubting that there is this, you know, presence.
Yeah, but there is a load of numpties, man. There is a load of numpties, although they're the ones that keep us going.
You get genuine cognitive dissonance, but beyond that, you know, it's not really cognitive dissonance anymore. These people are deliberately, you know. So, aye, but no, you don't meet people like that in the street.
Yeah, we've never.
Not very often. You might meet them on a Friday night, pissed out in their head at 2 o'clock in the morning, want to beat the shite out of you. But normally, you don't. Most people are actually. It's just beginning to show that actually people are actually willing to, you know, take on the information, have a discussion about it, and I guarantee you, every single one of them will either tell someone about their strange encounter with a big dude. So it's going to get passed on. So it's all good. You know what I mean? And these people. Well, these people that are going on about, they're saying it's like a religion and they're getting all scared, and I don't understand why they're so obsessed with getting so angry about people that are just going out and into the street and just asking a few questions. It's just...
Well, that's it. We're not selling anything. We're not pushing any religion.
No, exactly. No.
So we know why they've got a problem. You know, and I've seen that, you know, a couple of comments recently of, are these real people? No, they're fucking. No, I'm a multi-millionaire that fucking lives in a shed in a housing scheme, you know, in the middle of Scotland. They can afford to go and hire actors for the day. Yeah.
I tell you, you're running out of friends, Dale. Is there anybody else? You've got to find some strangers now, I think.
I think it's brilliant. So, what was that you were talking about? That was quite interesting. What you were talking about with the religion kind of stuff, because they try to, you know, they try to equate this to like kind of a religion, you know.
Well, it was always, they tried to tie it, you know, and you still see them saying it. Your flat earth is for your Bible, your religious crap. You know, again, they're just straw manning. None of this for me ever came to any religious books, you know. But, you know, they try it. But for me, you know, they are the ones that have a religion, you know.
Yeah, with the science or the theoretical science, you know. As I say, I want to say again, I've nothing against technology apart from they're going a bit mad now, but they're going a wee bit overboard with it now. You know, they're just getting a wee bit too far with it. But that theoretical stuff, when they start, you know, seeing shapes and that in equations, because that's all they are. They're just imaginations, you know what I mean? And when it gets to that is a religion. That's a belief, because they're not willing to take on anything. And half these people that are running about going on about the ball earth and, you know, science is great and all this, don't know half the shit that they're being told. Like, we didn't know we were actually meant to be. I never knew we were going around 66,000 miles an hour around the sun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Until I got into this.
Yep.
You know, and then I was like, fuck that, come on. And then the millions, and then the trillions, and then the fucking light years, and then you find out, you know, how can you measure these? You know, it's like things you take for granted, but how can How can you measure these things? It's impossible, and I can't believe that people, even when they sit down and think about what they're actually getting told and what these so-called, and it's all theoretical scientists or physicists or whatever, they're the fucking idiots, man. They are the problem. They are the ones that have imaginations. That's, with Einstein.
If it's not practical, they shouldn't be wasting funds and time on it. But they obviously wanted to, because they had to use mathematics being a language, because they knew it could be manipulated. And these sophists with their sophism arguments, that's all they have. And that's the religious aspect. When it comes right down to it, when you actually go and look, you have images, so we can say they are the religious symbols, and then you have endless text and equation, and an index for the fucking book.
Yeah, and the guys like Alan Guth and Cox and Brian Greene and all they're the wizards. They're the guys that are just talking crap, basically, and get paid to do it as well. And the thing is, they're actually teaching. But the thing is, as we keep going on about, and I'll keep going on about it, it is criminal, because they're teaching kids this, and they're actually now designing. There was a lecture by NASA, or not a lecture. They had a meeting or something, and they were trying to, they were having a big discussion about how are they going to get kids to make this space travel stuff more exciting for kids, and they're actually talking about programming kids. I actually downloaded it. I'll watch the rest of it. As I say, I'm a bit busy at the moment.
Yeah, that's criminal.
And they're pouring it out. They're pouring it out, and it's all rubbish. All rubbish.
And at the end of the day, I spoke to John about this earlier. I said it a long time ago. I'm at that point still. I'm willing just to go, look, I'm not looking to blame anybody. I'm willing to just let us take responsibility now for ourselves and not accept any more of the bollocks without having to, string anybody up. Although people still feel as if they want justice, but I put it out there, I'm prepared just to go, look, we were duped and we bought into a load of crap. And I don't want to point the finger at anybody. I'm quite willing to take it on my own shoulders, about not being critical. But if they keep and they persist with this, act and still trying to push it, then, I'm going to, you have to start looking at it as a criminal act, because you're saying, look, the game's over now. I don't accept your bollocks. It's time to come clean. And if they persist to try and keep pushing more bollocks, then, they're asking for it.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, the way that they're doing it is quite, it's quite simple how they're actually changing the words empirical evidence and a theory. Theory is just speculation. That's all it is. You're just speculating, which to me means you don't really have any substance. There's no substance in what you're saying at all. It's just, you could as well saying nothing than something, and they've got their equations they're just fixing old equations, but as you say, it's
the root of real science should be exploration, and what is actual empirical, what we can have right in front of us. That's why we have the technologies we have. It didn't come about with guys sitting coming up with imaginative ideas that never come to fruition. If they come up with ideas and they go about messing about with actual reality and come up with it, then that's fine.
That's it. Yep, exactly.
When it starts wandering into otherworldly and off-planetary ideas, then fuck off.
They videos you sent me. I watched the two of them, but I found, and I kind of shit that the wee Chinese woman, she sounded as if she just sucked in some helium. She just sounded her voice really squeaky. But I found another one by the I downloaded another one by the ESA. It's the European Space Agency, and they were talking about these how they found these planets, and it was actually just what Teen was saying. It was like a lack of information. It was like what they done was they measured. They had the so-called telescope, but it's a radio telescope that actually backs it up, that gathers the data. It's not the actual telescope itself. That just takes like a picture, and then they fart about with that. But what happened is they studied the brightness, and then when there was a change of brightness around the area of this star, they're like, no, there's a planet. Now these planets take 9 days to orbit this huge kind of sun, so they're moving pretty fast in the eye of the telescope, and that's what they were doing. They were measuring the brightness of the star getting dimmer and being able to tell that the atmosphere, the mass, how fast it was spinning, and all it was fucking lines on a graph, a bit of graph paper. And then these guys go, "Oh, look at that! That's hydrogen," and it's a load of shite, man.
Of course
It really is. You know, and then they're making up pictures off of that. Then they build the graphics around that. You know, hydrogen's red. That shows up red in the spectrum. You know,
the whole 7 planets was rushed. Those conference things that you're referring to, the ones that I sent you, for people who don't know, it was the panel members with the kind of young Chinese woman who was hosting it, but it wasn't a public thing, and they don't seem to be public because, you know, I would like to be in these situations and ask these people questions, but it was clear to me that they were just reading from a script. They are actors, you know, with absolutely no substance to them, and everything that they were saying was just hollow. It lacked any real information. There was nothing in it whatsoever. The whole feeling I got from it was just cobbled together quickly, which tells me a lot, you know.
Well, that guy, the first guy, the guy that talked funny, sounded a foreigner. He was the guy. That's how I found out about the. How much that where was it? Massachusetts, the Massachusetts University were getting 330 million a year, but with that what do you call it? With that first guy, he's a professor. He's teaching there at the moment. And so, but he was going on about how they're set. The first 2 minutes he was talking, he was going on about how we're going for mankind, and he was using all these fucking big adjectives, and you know.
Well, it seems to me that they have, if you look at it, there's a character for everybody there.
Yeah, exactly.
All these, you know, these definite characters.
Archetypes,
just to appeal to everybody, to a wider, you know, audience.
That's
purely what it's for. So, Jamie, how are you?
Hi, Jamie.
I'm doing fine, thanks. How are you doing?
Good, man. Good.
Hi, Jamie.
Hi,
Jamie.
Yeah.
You all right?
Yeah, fine.
How's your life things been going?
Yeah, I've been doing all right. It's funny, like there's one of these accounts called Curved Water. It's funny how he has a flat horizon as his icon. Bit ironic, that, isn't it?
I know. I had them earlier. There was a couple of one of the groups on Facebook of them posting, you know, the water droplet in suspended air just about to fall into the larger body. I had them showing me water coming out of a tap with a static Charles balloon next to it. You know, that's what I'm talking about, with the deceptive ways that they try and put that image into people's minds. You know, but they don't represent the claim accurately. The claim is, you know, vast oceans clung to the outside of a globular rock, you know. We're not claiming that the Earth's, you know, a tap with a balloon next to it. We're not claiming that the Earth's a drip of water hanging off a branch, you know. That's what I'm talking about with sophism, you know.
Yeah, but at what point does it actually change its physical aspects, its physics? When it, you know, if it's, well, it doesn't. We know it doesn't after 3 miles, 4 miles, 5 miles, and stuff like that. At what point does it get big that gravity starts working on it to, you know? I mean, it's stupid.
No.
Ask a physicist that. Ask at what point does it water actually begin to cling to a ball? You know what I mean?
You tell me the size of mass you need before gravity kicks in. You know, be specific to all these things.
Well, the irony is that the bigger the mass of water, the flatter it gets.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you know, it's not going to support itself in the middle.
Not in the globe.
To display convexity, you know, it's fucking absolutely retarded. When they talk about, you know, reality denying, and that, for me, you know, I've always known it. You know, that is reality. That's an element. You know, it's the best measuring tool we have, you know, for establishing level. You know? So if a natural element's telling you that it can only be level, then it must be level.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, they use the argument that a raindrop forms into a ball, so that must mean that the Earth's a ball. That's
it's
the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Sophism again. You know, they're just trying to implant an image in your mind by misrepresenting their actual claim. You know, if they claimed that the Earth was a one drip of water falling in an environment with air and pressure, you know, then they would have a case. But unfortunately, that's not what they're trying to claim.
Well, the thing is, it's a drip of water. It doesn't have land in between it.
What's that? Yeah, it's not accurately representing the claim. Yeah. So they will continue the tactics and hope that they can somehow affect. But people are too clever; they can see right through it.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. I think the more people that get out and do, I've got a few interviews lined up, but just with a couple of young dudes, a couple of my mates that I know, and they'd be quite interesting to, well, just ask them a few questions about where, because they're just out. One's about 22. The two of them's about 22, so they're just fresh out of school,
Nice.
Still a bit naive, so see what they say to it. But I think more people should just get out there, break their cherry, do what John done. He just flung caution to the wind and went for it, man. Brave man.
Yeah.
Brave man, I think, but same as you, Del. It's not, it looks easy, but it's, I suppose after 5 minutes, it's like, performing if you're playing the guitar. I've done a bit of busking myself. I'm always nervous at after the first song. You get kind of warmed up in that. It's just knowing that happens,
If you're practiced enough and you know your stuff enough, then you'll be fine. The nerves might be there, but that understanding will carry you through. It's just about having that confidence.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's just confidence in the subject. As I said before, that's why it's easy for me, because the subject's objective. It's easy for me to get out there and represent it and talk about it, because it's not focusing on any personal issues.
Yeah, that's it. It's just it's just a few questions, getting people to think.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, as the weather gets better, especially in the UK and wherever else, spring comes in, summer comes in, and the streets are busier, parks are busier. I've got some good ideas for when that comes about. So hopefully other people have got plans as well.
Yeah, there'll be less people stuck in their echo chamber then, won't there? They'll be actually getting out and like discussing with the public, which is what we need to do, really.
Yep. And that's that. That's a good point, Jamie. But again, to people, it can only be discussed. Anybody who's trying to push it as a debate, just walk away from them. They're not clever enough to understand what the situation is. You should be wasting your time debating anybody.
Yeah, well, it's pretty clear. And the more I read into it, the more it becomes blatantly obviously they're just liars. All these scientists and all that, they're just basically been lying and hiding it.
Yeah.
So, but
well,
I think
I don't think they all need to be lying and hiding it.
No, not them all, but the ones that are spouting it, that are coming out.
It was good to see Bill Nye getting, I can't remember the guy's name, but it was regarding climate change.
Oh, yeah.
I just watched that as well. Really good, yeah.
The guy really honed in on him, and that's the beauty of it. If in other aspects and other topics, if people are going, no, wait a wee minute, let's get back to what real science actually is, then they'll start to be found out in every aspect, which is good to see, because if that's what I always say to people, if you know the tools and you know what real natural science is, then you can see through other lies.
He's not even. Oh, sorry, Jamie, on you go.
Yeah, I was just saying that. How can people take people like Bill Nye seriously when he's saying stuff like, "If the Earth was flat, then you should see New Orleans from Missouri."
But don't you think people are just accepting these people for what they're saying on face value because of their position and because they're supposed authoritative figures?
That's what they are. It's because they deliver it with a certain mannerism and a certain look and a ridicule laugh or a wee glance. That's how they deliver these things. It doesn't matter. There's no substance to what they're saying. As long as they can push people into the herd mind of if Bill Nye's laughing at them, then it must be daft.
And especially with Bill, what they do, I think, I don't know how you feel about it, but they try to make these characters into a caricature and like a children's TV presenters to hold people's short term attention. Yeah. And I think it just becomes silly rather than a serious matter. And talking about, like Ali was saying, like talking about detail, lots of information. They never go there. It's all about superficial level.
Like children, if you look at even the news presenters, have a look actually the words that they're using, right, and think: are they talking to an adult? Or are they talking to a child? Anybody that presents on television, just watch their mannerisms. Do you think that would be suited? Talk to a child or an adult? Yeah. Because they're talking to adults. And we
always have two people. I don't need two people to tell me the news, but it's so condescending, and they finish off each other's sentences, and it's like dumbing us down. Just give me a serious person to tell me the news. That's all I need.
Yeah.
Well,
Not
that video
personality.
with that, what's his name? That video with that Bill Nye, he just looked, he was just backpedaling. And just remember, he's not a climate change expert. It's a whole different science.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But it's a whole different discipline altogether. And this is what they do. They bring on these people that are authority figures that have no qualifications in the subject that they're talking about and try to talk about this. He's not got a clue. He's only repeating what he's been reading in the fucking papers.
I don't know if any of you have seen the channel Infinite Plane Society, but he was going on about the climate change video with Bill Nye and the other guy.
Ripped into him.
And he what he did is he slowed down a bit of it because he noticed that when the guy that on the news was he said something to Bill Nye that saying that you're not a scientist or something, and his face just dropped.
Yeah, because he's not.
There's a wee bit of controversy over his qualifications because he is an actor. He is an actor as well. That's the same as that Richard Dawkins. He's an actor as well. So
well, this is it. You look at them just like the news. They're trained to deliver. It's almost like NLP. And they say certain phrases with a certain expression and a raising of the eyes and a lean forward. It's all there. It's all prominent with him, and especially with Bill Nye. He's just, you can see it in him. He doesn't have a clue. He just feels as if he's got the weight of his buddies behind him. And they're untouchable. And I think they're going to realise they're not untouchable because people are going to start asking them real questions. And Bill Nye better get his fucking act together if he's going to go out into the street.
He just looks guilty when he's talking. Sorry, Jimmy, but when he's talking, it's like he knows he's lying. He's like a kid lying. You can see his faces. It's like you're like, fucking hell. He knows he's talking shit, man, but he's still spouting it.
That's it, and John was saying it, the way they speak to you, you Ali, speak to you like a child. Do you remember the Billy Connolly sketch? When he's talking
with Wincy Willis. Wincy Willis.
Why do they speak to me like I'm a child? Here's a wee cloud. This is where you live. Fuck off, just tell me.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. That was an audience. That was in the video. An audience. Sorry. Right, on you go, Jamie. Go.
Yeah, I was just saying about Bill Nye. He seems like the kind of guy that is like what it'd be like one of those soft kids who's relying on bodyguards.
Yeah. Well, I think he's going to be relying on them more now.
They're just puppets, though. They're sad. They're just sad fuckers. I look at them and that Brian Cox. So I know he knows. He's just I'm not too keen on him at all. He's slimy. He's greasy, man. I don't trust him. He's snaky or something.
How they caught him in the first place.
Well, again, it's not hard to foresee that they would profile people if you want people to push a certain agenda. If you're going to have certain celebrities in certain positions, you need to profile them. You need to have certain characteristics from the beginning, so that they're not going to wander, or all of a sudden have a turn of conscience and start telling the truth. So you would have to profile and have certain characters,
Yeah. Well, I was actually getting apropos that, man. I've just been reading a book there. It's about creative writing. Right, it was nothing to do with, but what I stumbled across was seminars for teachers and rules and regulations to start introduce. And this is from a report from 1990. But they were trying to improve creative writing, teaching kids creative writing. But the way they were using it was because it was going into the mind of the child, and it was actually manipulating them to think in certain ways. And they talked about talking to all the different voices that kids hear in their heads and that, and giving them an outlet. And through it was quite an interesting paper. I got halfway through. You'd be quite interested in it, John. Yeah, it's about creative writing. It's quite a strange. It's sort of it's about writing books. How to write a book, but they actually use it in educate. This is primary school kids, right. To encourage them to be creative. To be able to express their imagination. And the way that they're doing it is that's why you can see how these scientists are actually using this in their heads, like imagining. That's why they all like Star Trek and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
what
you notice-
science fiction's all about, isn't it?
Yeah, but and I think they've been through this kind of programming, because this is an old paper. It's from there's a book written about it from 1920. I was just reading about the actual style, what is creative writing, how it works, and it's been a science for hundreds of years, thousands of years. All this kind of stuff.
Sorry, John. Sorry, Dale.
No, you go, mate, you're right.
And I think they realise very well that imagination is a great tool for distracting you away from reality. And the further we go into imagination, the further away we go from reality.
Especially when you're going to have a natural instinct and desire and wanting for exploration and for either to be more. So that they know that's going to be there. If they are restricting, the natural flow, if there's such a thing in regards to who we are and what it means to be a human. Sorry, my mind went blank. I'm getting distracted here with this. I need to switch that off. It does it to me every time. Sorry, hang on. Carry on. Sorry.
All right, John. What did you think of that? That about that? The creative writing. They were using that for the imagination.
Yeah,
to bring that out on the kids. So what Dale was saying.
I just think it's the same with everything. They sort of offer you something as if it's going to benefit you in some way. It's a tool that can enhance your life or develop you, but there's always an undercurrent behind it. It's like, say, the TVs when we went digital, and they're saying, oh, everything's going to be digital for you. Everything's going to be easier. You can have more variety. You can have huge, big, smart TVs. And we're thinking, oh, great, that's fantastic. But that's just all to present the propaganda a lot easier to us in our living rooms in a huge screen, and to get us manipulated into what they want to give us. So like the creative writing, I think, that's great for kids and to develop their abilities and their skills. But then if they're taking them down the channel of just go into fiction and fantasy world and imagination, don't go on boring factual information that's not very stimulating and it's not very exciting and there's no colourful pictures. Just go away from that and go into imagination and escapism.
Stifle your natural instinct to explore and replace it with a false imaginative place, so that you somehow substitute your will to go and explore with exploring your imagination with these crazy concepts.
And then oppress you. Yeah. And then oppress the fuck out you, and then they oppress you as well. So they're pulling you both ways. One of the population's fucking running about with their heads up their arse because they're giving us the imagination, then they're oppressing us and making to come further on in life is going to be so hard because they're through their rules and regulations. They're fuckers, man. They're splitting us in two. They're pulling us apart.
They get them before they start with any of that stuff. Anyway, they instill the hierarchy, and once the kids are accepting that, it really doesn't matter. That for me is the foundation of the manipulation and the control. If even in nursery and in early school, kids are putting their hand up and requesting that they can go to the fucking toilet. I mean,
I know.
There's the alarm bells before we get into anything else. A natural function that you're having to request from some external authority to be able to go and do that. That's just not.
Well, the bell's the big one. That's the big first one that you hear. The school bell. That's where it starts. School bell rings. In you go, mate. School bell rings again. Time to eat. School change class. School bell. You're run with the school bell 8 hours a day or 6 hours a day or whatever. Anyway, hello. Someone else is coming, Dale.
Getting up that mind, Hi, how you doing, Karen?
Yeah. Hi.
Hi, Karen. Yep. Hi, Karen.
Hi. Nice to meet all of you.
Yep.
Hi,
how you doing?
Hello, everybody. Ali, Jamie, John, Marshall, and I'm Dale.
Yeah, I'm familiar with you, Del. I've been watching your stuff for a while.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of all your bringing it to the streets interviews.
Nice. Glad you're. So, you, how are you in the whole thing? You believe it's a globe? You know the globe's a lie? I mean, how are you?
I definitely don't believe it's a globe. Definitely not.
Everybody can relax then.
Yeah. Well, actually,
whereabouts in the world are you, Karen? Whereabouts in the world are you?
I'm in North Carolina in the United States. I'm on the East
Okay.
Coast.
Okay.
Are you going to be going to that convention then, or something? Because that's supposed to be in North Carolina in November.
Yeah, it is. It's in Raleigh, North Carolina. It's about 3 hours away from me. I don't know if I'm going yet. I don't know if I can schedule it or not, but I'd like to be able to make it. I want to try.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, so it doesn't to me doesn't seem to be any point in it. Really, it's not going to really get any Globers to attend because most of the people that are going will be into the flat Earth already, so it'll be a big echo chamber.
No, but I think well, even if it is, it'll give people a wee boost anyway. Ones that might, you never know, people might just, whatever.
Well, if
I can't see good or bad in it. I'm not really bothered about it either way. But I think, if people, it's still good to meet up with people that have the same belief as you anyway. So that's a good thing about it. So
Belief,
I think.
Yeah, even if it's locally advertised, I mean, any little advertising is good, is a plus thing, isn't it? So
Yeah, of course, man. But
It is good to meet up with other people that have the same beliefs as you because probably, a few weeks ago, Brian Mullen and his wife set up a meetup out here in North Carolina, and there was probably about 20 flat earthers there, and we all got together and talked, and
cool.
it was really cool.
Nice one, nice.
Good. I'd a
I'm a
message.
bit jealous. I'm waiting for May to come when we're going to have our wee meet up. I'm going across to Scotland 100%.
It was really interesting because we met at a restaurant, and so we had a big long table with a bunch of flat earthers at the table, and it was kind of a rare situation where everybody at the table was talking about, oh, I found out about flat earth, blah, 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 and everybody was talking really loud about flat earth, and there were all these random people sitting around us looking at us like, what?
Yeah, that's one way, so they are good. So
Yeah, there's been a couple here in Scotland. Somebody messaged me. I need to get back to them. I've just not had a chance. Asking about maybe a get together here in Scotland again as well. So as I say, I agree. If people want to get together, then I'm good with that. In terms of progress, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm sure people in the surrounding area will get wind and hear about it. So that can only be a positive.
but even if you meet up, just decide, right, we'll go out and do street interviews.
That's it.
Just everybody get out together and just do their stuff. I suppose that's one way of putting it to use. I suppose.
The other one was Speaker's Corner. Somebody was mentioned as to that.
Down in Hyde Park, yeah.
yeah, that was me doing.
Look at that when the weather's good. Maybe take a trip down there and film something. Yeah,
That's a nice park down there. There's usually loads of free concerts going on down there. So if you time it right, you'll get a good concert down there.
Yeah.
So when the weather's good.
That's it. So have you been involved in it for a long time, Karen, or are you new?
Been in it since 2015, and I just recently started my own channel. So
What's the channel name?
Karen B.
Karen B. Nice one.
With a little bird logo.
Cool. You know what I need to start doing? I'll need to get back to the previous Hangouts and start posting the links to everybody who comes on. I keep forgetting to do that, so I'll do that from now on. I'll stick it on the end of this one as well. It's good to see more channels appear.
Yeah, just kind of flood it with flat Earth stuff.
That's it.
And it's only going to grow, isn't it? It's only going to get bigger and bigger.
Hopefully.
Well, it seems to have died down after that whole Carrie Irving thing, but I suppose it's more of the ridicule that's died down, really.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens with that. Hopefully they'll keep bringing it up. But again, for me, I look at these things and I say, if you really didn't want it being discussed or in the public attention, it just wouldn't be aired. But for me, it's just another sign that, building people to accept it, socially accept the question. I don't know.
Where do you think they're going to steer it then?
Who knows, mate? If they were trying to steer it to somewhere, then I think they would maybe go for a fallback kind of religious type scenario.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, really. That maybe, I'm not saying that that's it, but because I made a video about it, could be the dome to try and stop people from exploring beyond. It's just an idea.
Yeah.
Because there might be other, it's just theoretical, but there might be other tribes and they want to keep everyone separate.
Yeah, don't you think they did that with the people of Russia and the people of America, where both leaders told their people propaganda about the other country about to drop a nuke on them and keep us in fear from each other, while the elites at top were in bed with each other. So they were together, but they didn't want us getting together. So they gave us propaganda about the Russian people, and the Russian people were giving propaganda about us, and just keeping us divided. And perhaps they're doing that with where we live, and there could be more ponds like ours, but they're keeping us divided because we're brainwashed to think we live in a ball, so we can't go looking for further land.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, because I'm not saying that there isn't a dome, but it could be a lot bigger than we're told, and there could be, other islands and things like that we haven't discovered yet.
Absolutely, yeah. But we're not.
I mean, you must have heard that.
Sorry,
about the Operation High Jump, and he allegedly found more land. How does that work on a globe?
That's it.
Good point. Yes,
but it's obvious to me. If they're stifling, if their whole game's to stifle you psychologically and restrict you psychologically and physically, then there must be something else to discover. That for me, that just makes sense. If there was nothing else there and there was nothing to hide, then there would be no reason for the whole line in the first place.
Yeah.
But and again, I always come back to the questions, and you were saying about other pawns and maybe trying to keep us divided. But how do we know that maybe these other pawns that exist that could exist? That's how we explain different races of people, different animals, different things. Who knows?
It could also explain some weird weather patterns as well.
Yeah.
In what way, you think?
I don't know, just some things in the climate when the weather completely shifts. There might be I don't know, some kind of energy flow from another pond, for instance. I don't know, it's just a theory, but...
Yeah, it was quite weird this year with places like Greece and Spain getting so much snow, which is unheard of, really.
Yeah.
On the beaches, like not in the mountains, but right on the beach, just covered in deep, deep snow, and that's unheard of.
But up in the north, it's hardly got any this year, which is a bit strange.
Yeah.
There was another thing that you're probably watching. The Moore guy, he was saying something about that the fish and all the species of fish, and they keep finding new fish. Well, they could be spilling in off other ponds for all we know.
Well, that's it. New species are popping up, could be coming from other places. This is the whole thing. Loads of possibilities now open up for me anyway. Loads of unanswered questions.
Yeah, we just got to keep referring it back to the truth that we can all come to an agreement on. Really,
that's it.
Yeah, I think the good agreement that we all come to is we know where we're not, but at the moment we don't know where we are.
I would agree with that. I mean, that's the only thing that anybody ever can really know for sure is that we don't live on a globe. I mean, there's no curve, so there's no ball. Yeah. But I mean, really, we can't 100% prove the flat Earth either, or at least the AE map. I mean, it can't be proven. I mean, I've been working in AutoCAD with the angles, the sun angles, and the path of the sun and the moon, and it's crazy how exact they have their math for the globe. I mean, the math works out perfectly. Even when you see people talk about how daytime lunar eclipses are not possible, well, I modeled it in AutoCAD in 3D, and guess what? It worked. Well, the angle worked.
Yeah. I'm just sorry.
I mean, go ahead.
I was just saying circumnavigation works perfectly as well. It might not be a perfectly circular map, but even on a globe, you would have to readjust slightly to keep going west or east. So why wouldn't it work on a flat Earth map?
Yeah,
but it works. I think Gavin explains that with the axioms. You start off with a false axiom, and then the maths will work for anything. So you should watch that. Which one? Do you remember which video it was? Delhi talks about that anyway. About how
one of the tools for truth. I can't remember offhand just now what it was called.
That's a great one for him explaining how they actually played with the mathematics. How you can actually just basically make anything up out of them if you start with another. For example, gravity and stuff like that. Yeah. You start with that, and then they've built up a system out so when you look at the stars, use the mathematics to fit in. If it's not acting accordingly to the mathematics, they'll make an equation that adjusts for that. It's something to do with a principle or correspondence or something like that. It's called correspondence principle, but it's basically a way that they can match the mathematics up. That's why E equals MC squared is about 3 pages to work out two planets going round each other. The amount of mathematics to even thing that is more complicated. You know, it's like 2 A4 pages of fucking equations.
Well, that's the problem, mate. It's a language.
You know, to get it to work. Yep, exactly. It's just lies, though. This is it. It's lies. It's falsehoods and lies.
You can tell the truth with language, or you can tell lies. You know.
Yep, exactly.
Well, another good example of a false axiom is that you've probably heard about it, the sticks and shadows experiment.
Yeah.
Because it only works assuming that the Earth's a globe.
How did he know? It's stupid. It's not even a false axiom. It's just a stupid story. How that guy could know it was 90 degrees perpendicular to a well somewhere that was 500 miles away. It's stupid. It's one of these stupid, crappy stories that they just sell us, man.
Well, it only works assuming that the globe is 93 million miles away.
That's right.
But I can go outside and go to a lamppost, a street light, and I can place 2 sticks on either side and get opposing shadows. So therefore, I have to deduce for that the street is now a ball.
Well, if you shine a light on and you shine it you make it sort of do like an orbit around you. It'll cause shadows at different places, so it can just as easily be explained on a flat Earth model.
Yeah, exactly.
The main problem I see anyway is, for me, it still hasn't been established exactly what the sun and the moon and the other luminaries are. So people seem to still be trying to work it out based on them being solid type sphere objects. And trying to, somehow, as far as I'm aware, nobody has established exactly what the sun, moon, and the stars are. So without knowing exactly what they are, how can we ever decide what they're actually doing?
Yeah, it could be just some kind of projection, so it might not even be where you think it is.
Well, it gives light anyway. That's one thing, and it gives life to plants, and it gives life to us. So it's a life-giving force. We know that much. Yeah. So take it from there. But it does do that, plants live and use photosynthesis. So, and we need it as well for our vitamin D and stuff like that to eat and stuff. So it does that. But anything more than that is speculation, really, isn't it?
Well, that's it. Until I can establish exactly what these things are, there's no way for me to tell exactly what I'm observing without knowing what they are. So, as I say, the whole issue for me is, where I am here, Earth. I can't get to any of these things, and as far as I'm aware, nobody else can get to them. So I just think it's a waste of time. I think if we can get to the outer reaches, every aspect, the centre, then we might start finding other things out. But I don't know if it's true as well. There seems to be anomalies being reported that at altitude on an aeroplane, some of the stars are not visible.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that. That anything either 50 to 80,000 feet, the stars actually become completely invisible.
Yeah, so there's something else to consider there as well. Eh?
Well, that school that university in Madrid, remember, they took about 4 attempts before they could actually see the stars in the balloons. They put filters. They actually tried to duplicate the Earth's atmosphere because they kept sending up balloons to get film of stars, well, apparently, and they couldn't get it. So after, I think, the 4th attempt, they sussed out, they got the filters right, and as they're going up, you could see the stars, but they had to put it through the camera. The camera, they had to put filters on the camera.
I
don't know what that means.
I need to check it out.
Yeah. It's just a short video. I think it was, as I say, it was just students in Madrid or somewhere like that in Spain.
Cool. I'm going to have a wee look here. Marshall, is there a few other people want to come in and have something to say?
Yeah, I'm going to apologise ahead of time here, dude, because I'm sort of losing track of who's in the queue. Where I got Wake Sheeple, who's been looking to catch up for a couple of weeks, dude. He'd like to come in and have a chat.
No problem.
Okay, dude.
Okay.
I'll send it out now. Wait.
Yeah. If there's a few people, try and give people a space to have something to say. And at the end of the day, that's what the platform's for. It's to give everybody.
That's it. The more the merrier. I'll mute my mic.
It's great seeing new faces coming on, seeing Karen and Jamie there. I really enjoy new people coming on.
Nice one, guys.
Yeah, it's great. And it will encourage other people, hopefully, As I say, with Karen coming on and Bling and Tracy making their videos, hopefully it encourages other females as well to come forward and speak,
Yeah, there's not very many women.
Why do you think that is, Karen? I've been asking a lot of females that. Why do you think it's more male dominated?
I don't know why. It doesn't really make sense to me. I mean, I see them on Facebook. They're in groups. They're talking a lot. They're commenting a lot.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why.
No,
Maybe
I don't either. I've asked a few females, but I've not had a good answer yet. So.
Yeah, you'd think there'd be more of them, if anything, really, because, I mean, is it just some of them aren't quite so confident? I'm not being sexist or anything, there's obviously some reason for it.
There could be the abuse that maybe gets hurled. You don't know. It is a bit
that's
rough.
a good point, Ali. Yeah.
It is a bit rough out here.
Yeah, it might be
Although it's not that rough. You just have to develop a thick skin. These people are immaterial. They don't matter. They mean nothing. You know what I mean? These trolls or these people that are leaving, it can't do any harm to anybody. You need to just get with it and fight on.
People need to remember not to be too emotionally invested with them.
The thing is, anyway, though, they probably wouldn't attack women as much anyway.
I doubt it.
I don't know about that. I don't know if they were making a difference.
If we're talking about the organised groups, then no, they'll target anybody. I've witnessed that for the last couple of years, especially on places like Facebook. And Karen, obviously, have you been involved with the Facebook groups for the last couple of years? Or?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much when I came across Flat Earth, I was like, who else knows about this? How many people know about this? So where can I find more information about it? I mean, it's just like everybody else. When you find out about it, you just kind of dive in.
Yeah. Did you ever come across the Badger groups?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I was in a Badger group for a minute.
Yeah.
That was horrible. They are horrible.
Yeah. They're still at it. I
know. I see their little Badger icons every once in a while, and I'm just like, whoa, stay away from that person.
Well, it's good, that there's somebody else who has experienced them as well, So they are still there. They're still, that presence is still very much there.
But I suppose much of it shouldn't be taken too personally because really they don't know you as a person, really, and they don't know the majority of people they're attacking. So it really shouldn't be taken personally.
I try to say that to people, and they would affect people because that's what they hope. They hope that people are there on the screen with their emotions, even if it's just text and Facebook. They know that some people will be affected by that, and that's what the Badger groups are for. Just to ridicule people and try and make them feel bad.
Yeah, try to affect their emotional state.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's all they have. And if you can disconnect that and just laugh at them, they have nothing.
Well, that's it. If you can just do what you say, what you keep banging on about, and I say it now. I don't know where I stay, and that's a stand.
Yeah.
That's a stand. That's the best stand to have. None of that. Oh, I'm on a ball or I'm on a flat earth or whatever.
That's it.
I don't know at the moment, but the evidence is pointing fucking very, very much towards it being flat. So.
But I think that's a very intelligent stance. It's like we're all saying we don't know, so therefore we're starting to think for ourselves. And I don't want to offend any religious people, but some people believe and some people don't. But I think the true honest place you can go if you're being honest with yourself is to say you're agnostic, because you really don't know. But you can probably suspect one or the other, but the honest assessment is that you don't know.
Yeah,
and it's the same with where we live. We don't know where we live.
Yeah,
but it's close to the flat Earth more than it's to the ball by a long chalk.
Well, it's level.
Oh yes, absolutely.
It's level.
Yes.
Okay, it's level then.
We still don't know where it is though.
Yeah, unless there's some mystical force that they're not telling us about, but I doubt very much. You know what I mean? So I'll go with that. Right, I'm gonna mute. All right, wake.
How's it going, guys?
How you doing, man?
Good. Hey, I'll tell you what, you got a lot of the people that sit in, which we know, at least I do, know that nukes are BS. So I keep trying to bring up through the bigger hangouts that, hey, that means Operation Fishbowl is a joke. You can see it's a joke. And they don't want to answer the question. Even try, they won't bring it up, because then all of a sudden, if you were coming from a gaming standpoint, that goes out the window.
Was that a Mark Sargent reference?
Yeah, that's definitely Mark Sargent. Here, I'll show you my baby.
Nice.
That's what you keep in the house.
I hope that's not upstairs, is it?
No, right by the door. I don't even know if you can see it. You guys like Triumphs over there?
Yeah.
I had a Triumph. Yeah,
a 955i.
I had a Triumph Tiger.
No, it's the Sprint ST.
Yeah, I'm just saying I had a Triumph Tiger. Loved it. Yeah.
Good bike.
Yeah. Excellent. Are they popular in America?
No, they're getting to be. They're a pain in the ass when you break down or gotta buy something.
Spare parts. Yeah.
And there is no spare parts. Got to go over to Europe, have them shipped here.
So have you been on the channel before then?
I haven't.
Well, you haven't. And
I've been on one with Jeff about a year ago, and then he wanted to do a hangout, and then I just bounced out.
And what's your take on the place where we live, and what's your position on it?
Well, I would definitely say it's flat, and I'm sticking with the realm. That's until I see any different. We don't know where we live. We don't know anything. Just know it's not a damn ball. So. Yeah.
Well, that's the most important thing, isn't it? As long as people can come to that agreement that it's not what they told us, and know what's the next steps in order to establish where we are, you know.
Well, a good starting point.
Steps just to keep the infighting going and just keep people not working together.
Yeah. Well, I don't partake in any of that, you know. So they can keep trying the infighting. I'm not interested in it here. It's not about anybody's personality, you know. So
that in the chat, sure, man. There's a lot of people living in mom's basement or something paid to troll.
Oh, is there a few? We have a few guests in the chat, do we, Marshall?
No, it's all quiet tonight, though.
All right.
I hope we're not speaking too soon. Okay, I could do with an easy night.
Bounce up.
Well, you know, I think hopefully they're actually realising what's happening now. I think anybody with a functioning brain can see what's happening. You know, the lie is being exposed and it's not going away. You know, so people start jumping ship.
Yeah, very quickly.
Yeah,
and there's such a collective of people who are coming to the standpoint of saying, right, we don't believe in the ball, we don't know where we are. It's such a collective now, and that's a great place to start with from.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just getting people to start questioning. Just start questioning again. Everything. Just everything that they're getting told. The news, it doesn't matter as long as you get them. Once they've questioned one thing, I think once people have questioned one thing and been exposed to it, no matter what it is, I think they'll go, oh, wait a minute, if you know, a majority or a good few of them, you know, a lot of them won't bother.
Yeah.
But I think
it's like a domino
the more
effect.
they do that.
It's a domino
kind of.
And it's raising your critical questioning and thinking. So you're starting to question everything, and it branches out to all areas of life and society. Because
it makes sense to think like that, though, John. You know what I'm saying? It actually makes sense to. Yeah, of course I should question, or of course I should think before I do something, or of course I should. It doesn't mean you're going to run about being paranoid and seeing a boogeyman round the corner everywhere you go. But I mean, it's like, you know, there's nothing wrong with it, and I think the more people begin to feel confident about asking questions and saying, well, I don't actually agree with that. How about this? And be able to logically, verify, even give a good, not an argument, because an argument is actually just an opinion. When we go down, it's an offer against what you've just said or something. You know, it's if you say something, my argument or my offer or my opinion is what is an argument, but it's not the negative. But it's got a negative connotative.
Yeah, would you agree, Ali, that with each layer you expose or each truth that you come upon, I personally think it's very empowering. What do you think?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, you just eventually you reach a place where nothing surprises. You find your in Danish it's called a niveau. It's French as well, but we've got French in it, and it's a level. Funny enough, you find your level where nothing bothers you. Now you're in that good wee space where you can start doing stuff and thinking about stuff, and progressing your whatever you want to call it. You know, your message or whatever. Yeah, exactly.
But you become more confident that you can see the crap that's being told to you.
Oh, absolutely, man. And you can tell people, and explain it.
So easily.
Yeah. Well, now you've got substance. Once you've got your tools for truth, now you've got substance to your argument, not an argument as such. You know what I mean? I just
your viewpoint, or the way you see the world.
Yeah, exactly. But you've got substance to it now. You've got your critical thinking. You've got you can logically think. So, and you just have to think slower, and more methodically, and eventually it becomes second nature. You can't stop thinking,
And would you say that the further you go down into these layers, that probably less emotional you become as well, less emotionally reactive?
Well, I think you're preparing yourself. The deeper you go, you're getting stronger. So it's like it's an equilibrium. Eventually, you'll meet you'll just get there to a place where it's like a peaceful place, man. It is.
And you're not as shocked or surprised anymore. You kind of guess what's coming. you kind of guess.
Yeah, well, you don't have to. Yeah, you don't have to waste thoughts on that anymore. You know that crap, right? Okay, you don't react. You know, if there's a great saying, you should be the cause of your life, not the reaction of it. So instead of going about reacting, you know, by, oh no, there's the police. There's the police in my mirror. Oh my goodness, you know, be the cause of it. You know,
it's
just the police.
There's just acting. There's no reacting. It's just acting.
Yeah, you're the cause. Instead of being the reaction, you are the cause of your life, instead of the reaction of life. You know,
you're acting because you're the cause. So you're acting.
You take control of your own mind, and you're no
exactly.
You're no subject to your social conditioning anymore, or any of these ideas or programs that are put to you. But it takes a lot of work for people to, work through that. It took me a lot of years to work through and realise these things. It's not going to be easy for, Joe Blogs just to pick it up in a couple of weeks. It takes a bit of effort, But
you're evolving from a program entity into one of independent thought and critical knowledge.
Yeah, but you don't know where you are. I mean, it's like the wild. It's like an unknown place. It's like a new adventure, man. Taking your brain, you're off on a new adventure with the unknown, which is fucking great. At least you're getting your adventure that's inbuilt in us. You know what I mean? Enjoy the journey.
Well, if you guys ever want to take an adventure, has ever come into Utah to go to Zion National Park or anything, get a hold of me. The ironic thing is, my cousin is Mike Lee also, so he's a senator. He's over the Arms and Ways Committee, which is the warmongering committee, and then just right down the road from me is Lodge 33.
Oh my God! So, you're right in amongst it there.
It's pretty well established here. So
you're better in amongst your enemy, innit? Keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer, mate. That's a great place to be in, Well,
especially when they're all family.
Yeah, well, there you are. It's an eye opener.
Like, I bet another one that's real proud of me is, I don't know if you guys have heard of Lee Kaching. So, like, when you guys hit it big, everybody goes Kaching. Well, he's the richest, I don't know if he still is the richest man in the world.
Oh, so that's where that comes from.
Oh, the Chinese.
Yeah.
What, is he Chinese or something?
Yeah. Like Robert E. Lee,
right.
family, John D. Lee's was my grandpa. He was blamed for the Meadow Massacre murder between the LDS and little history.
Oh, okay, all right, okay. You've got right. You've got a bit of family history. Well, you've been well knowledgeable. How long have you? You've probably known about it all your life, then, huh?
Oh yeah.
All right, okay, cool. All right.
And then I was raised the old LDS until I woke up and got away.
Yeah, right. What's the LDS? Excuse my ignorance.
Oh, you've never heard of the Mormons?
Oh, yeah. All right, okay. Right, yes, I have, yeah. Right, the Latter-day Saints, right, okay, yeah, I have. Okay, right, okay.
Yeah.
So is it the way it's described in all the conspiracy documentaries, or is it?
It used to be, not for a long time. Like, even when I went to school in Ohio and that they were teaching it here, we have, which is the FLDS, and that's the break-off. Right. That's a long time ago when they wanted to get rid of all the wives, just have one wife. Well, the FLDS, they stayed, and all their sick crap, but it's actually being broke up now, but they're forever. I mean, they still have multiple wives married when they're extremely young, all that. But the LDS is no. The LDS is like anybody else, just a Christian thing. It's just when you get up into the uppers, to the temple, that's when you get into the know-it.
Yeah.
But the normal
right, okay.
LDS are just normal everyday people.
Yeah. See, that's it. It's like in all religions, right? There is a higher, and the lower, and the majority of people are good, honest people that are following a belief that they want to go, but they seem to be, a bit disillusioned or a bit faithful towards the hierarchy, or would that be right?
The ones who started it, created it, know, and they know what they're doing. Yeah. And then the people who come into them do it for faith and because they want to be close to God. And so there's your normal people, just like the Freemasons being taken over, just like everything. And everybody wants to blame all of them, and it's not. It's so many people are in it for the right reasons, and they just don't know what's at the top, what created.
That's it.
Yeah, it's like theoretical science. That's a belief as well. That's a religion. This science these people are following with the ball earth. That's a religion as well. You've just described exactly.
That's it. That's the point I made earlier. Everybody doesn't have to.
It's nice to hear, man.
Everybody doesn't have to be on it.
Yeah.
It's all compartmentalized, isn't it? So no one knows what's going on at the next level of the pyramid.
And that was the whole good thing of top secret.
Yeah. But as I say, it's like, is that when was it you kind of left it? Kind of woke up. I thought, wait a minute, this is not. Nah, I want to think for myself. Or
I've
When
been,
that kind of
I've been
happened
the
for you.
outcast since I was young, so never
Ah,
really
right,
did
okay,
in
the black
school,
sheep.
never any of that, and then got married, had kids, still was into all the conspiracies and all that. And then about 3 years ago, same as everybody, around January, February in 2015, all of a sudden, bam, was hit with everything on the side. But I'm not like a lot of people. It didn't take me long. It didn't take me anything. As I was watching the first video, within 20 minutes, I was
Yep,
like,
me too.
this makes sense. Bam. So
Yep.
I didn't need to have the whole months of thinking about it and all this. I knew.
And it just went doof, 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 doof.
Yep.
That just fell into place, man. Yep, that's what I heard. I just heard all these fucking everything just slapping together after 2 minutes. As soon as I
Yep.
started, I think it was, as soon I was like, oh, wait a minute, and it just went bang. That was me. Great
Everything
experience.
came together, and I was
And
like,
I've never stopped smiling and laughing since.
yeah.
So
Did anybody
All right.
else have the major feeling of relief after you realized
Oh,
that
I
there
did.
was no globe? I mean, for me, it was like, and I never would have expected it, but I just felt like relief.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I was so glad that the crappy world that I was seeing was not real. You know?
Yeah.
I was almost elated. Excuse me. I was almost elated and thrilled that I was able to come across it in my lifetime. Because if you look at all these people who came before us, probably have never even imagined that. But I was making a joke that said, "Well, put on my gravestone, I bloody knew."
I knew it, yeah.
That relief was there for me as well. As I say,
Ashes.
when you're looking for trying to find meaning and purpose for why you're here, what the world is, when you're trying to look for that, based on everything and living in a globe, as I say to people, it left me at a point where I had to seriously entertain that maybe materialism was true. Maybe it is just an accident and there's no really any purpose or meaning to any of it. Obviously when the penny drops, all that goes, you can start thinking differently again. So it was definitely a relief for me.
Yeah, it's empowering as well, though, Dylan. It must have felt really empowered
Yeah.
that you're thinking for yourself.
Well, that's it.
There's no way a Big Bang could cause a flat plane.
Even
Only if
even
it was
back
stuck
then,
up against the wall.
even
if it was up against the wall.
even
Unless
back
it's
then, even
spinning
back
that fast that the centripetal force or whatever you call it.
I don't know.
Riding on your dinosaur.
Maybe the dinosaurs have flattened it out a bit.
Well, they were big right enough, and they kept
Aye,
banging
we-
into things. So
They've just trampled it down flat, I think.
they could have rubbled it out a bit.
I
You
can
never
say
know, so
I've been
people that
seeing,
have said that they know Earth's flat, and then I'll be like showing them how space doesn't exist, and it's I don't know because they don't want to give up their spaceships or what, but then they're faced and they stop and think about it. Just actually.
hey, wait a
stop.
minute. We're going driving round the moon tomorrow. We're going next year. We're going flying round the moon next year.
What I mean is their
According to
face will actually
SpaceX.
stop and realize it's
Oh
not,
man,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh man."
Could I ask, Wait, Karen and Jimmy, if you have many friends who also feel that they can see through the globe lie? Do you have anybody close in your life that share that?
I have your closet ones, so they sit and watch the videos, do everything, but they don't dare comment because I think once they comment, they're stuck and have to talk about it. So, but they're sure eager to watch, not say nothing, and they seem to know a lot.
Oh,
Talking about, they won't come straight out and say it like I do. I don't know about the ridicule. Don't want to be the crazy man.
aye. Well, what about Jamie and Karen? Do you have any friends who share your outlook?
Well, no, not really. I mean, I have one friend that I grew up with that she doesn't live in my state. I moved out of state. She moved out of state from where we grew up. But I've known her since I was 12 years old, and I've talked to her about flat Earth. And she doesn't say for sure that she thinks it's flat, but she's been looking into it, and she doesn't give me crap about it. She's really open-minded. I mean, but she's always been awake to, all of the BS that goes on in the world, the lying politicians, the government, and all that stuff. I mean, if you're against all of that, it's easier to, I think, be open to something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Jamie, it's all down to you. Tell us of all your friends you've got who agree with you. Come on, list them all.
There's only really one that agrees with me. I mean, he knows about the fisheye lens and how that creates a fake curve. And I talked to him about the flat Earth quite a lot. And he seems to agree, but I'm not sure whether he's just agreeing with me or what. But I think he gets what I'm saying. But it doesn't probably affect him as much as it affects me. To me, it's very important. But because there's some people that even if you tell them it's flat and they agree with you, they'll be like, well, it doesn't matter.
Well, I think Dale and Ali have people in their lives who also see that the globe is lying, don't you guys?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's promising.
But the problem...
Yeah, well, most of them think I'm crazy.
Oh, you go, Ali. You go.
Oh well, what it was just everybody I know, but some like my father-in-law and my mother-in-law, they just think I'm mad as a hatter. A couple of friends that are okay about it, they question it, and some, but none aggressive towards me. But as I say, I don't really care either way. I just say it and get people to ask.
What about your friend who came on the video, Ali?
Oh, Daniel.
Yeah.
Oh well, he was. Well, he hasn't really thought about it, but he knows it's. I think he knows it's flat. He knows it's flat, but he's. I think you'd have to ask him really. But yeah, he's cool about it. We talk about other things,
I think I've seen way more people that must believe something's wrong, because I don't get people like throwing a fit or freaking out or anything. And it's like even a year ago they would start to get puffy. Now it's just like no one gets anything. I can post anything on Facebook, I can do anything, and I get no negative on it. So I don't know. I think it's got to be coming to be the norm, and they don't want people to know that.
Yeah. Well,
it's.
On you go, Jamie.
As I was saying, it's getting to that point where it's reaching critical mass. The consciousness is raising, isn't it?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
I think so, because if you look at like any of those space posts on Facebook, if you go look in the comments now, there are so many comments against it. There's so much dissension in it now, and there wasn't before. There would only be like one or two, but now it's just one right after the other. And at first it was just like the same people, and now if you look through it, it's just people. They only have like 50 friends. They're just normal people, and they're over here commenting, "This is fake. Space is fake. They're stealing your money."
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely people are starting to see through it.
Yeah.
It's coming to a head.
Well, that's why they fired these sportsmen. That's why they fired these sports people and all these celebrities that were trying to control it there, I think. Just a couple of weeks ago, they tried. They flung at that basketball player or something. I just ignored it. I don't even know his name or nothing.
Yeah.
It was just a way of them trying to hijack it, I think.
However, there's quite a few celebrities now, though, when you look back and how many people have come out and actually spoken about those two words, flat Earth. So presumably, more and more will do. So whether it's meant to come out or not, at least it's coming out.
Yep, that's it, exactly.
I just want to tell everybody thank you for having me on, and I hope everybody has a really good weekend. And God bless everybody out in the chat. Everybody have a good weekend.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Thanks for coming on.
Nice one.
Yeah, you as well. Drive safe now, when you're on that bike.
I will at about 160. Hey, you guys have a
Oh,
good
that's cool. That's all right. That's nice. That's nice and safe. Good man. Keep it real.
Cheers, bud. Was it Marshall? If there was anybody else, they say I'm not going to go on too long tonight. Maybe another half an hour or 45 minutes or so.
Esau is looking to come on too, so I'm sending him the link right now. He's been waiting for quite a while, and a few other people that we might need to apologise to, but we'll be here again on Saturday next week. So we're all good. Esau's got the link now. Yeah.
Cool. Getting back to that wee point earlier, Jamie, when people say that, it doesn't make a difference to my life, well, it's they've just not considered things and thought about things to the depth that, other people maybe have, and so as I say before, you've got that problem where there is people who are content with whatever delusion or life they have at this moment in time, and they don't really want to question, especially if they're comfortable. So there's that aspect to it as well, But, it's a problem for me when I hear people saying that. Well, what difference does it make? Well, without a proper foundation, what is your life? So.
Well, it is a bit of a selfish attitude, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
They say, what difference does it make? But then that nobody wants to be lied to. If your significant other lies to you,
don't you
you're not going to put up with it. If your husband or your wife lied to you as much as the government lies to you, everybody'd get divorced.
Yeah, but I think people only start getting interested when it's affecting them personally. And if they think it's not affecting them personally, they're not really interested, so they don't care. And I think there's a lot of people who don't care if they're being lied to. You can go and show them facts of where, like, say, politicians have lied, but yet they'll go and vote for them again anyway. So
it's Stockholm syndrome, isn't it?
Yeah, Stockholm syndrome. And
Yeah, exactly.
they just don't care. They just want to bury their head in the sand and not deal with it.
Yeah, but it's for us to show them. We need to come up with a plan to show them why it matters that we've been lied to. Because we have to find out something that's going to say, if they say, for example, what does it matter to me? You've got to come up with a good answer.
Yeah.
What it does matter, and make it relative to whatever. Suss out who the person is. Find out about your kids. You say, well, do you think it's okay to lie to kids?
But I've used,
if they're teaching you something.
I've used that scenario so many times, and you say, well, what about your kids' future? And they just carry on regardless. It doesn't really affect them.
Well, not about the fact they're getting lied to, John, and tell them that it's criminal what's getting done to them.
I quote you all the time.
They're getting told fantasy. They're getting told fantasy lies, and if these parents are happy letting their kids get told fantasy lies that are going to be of no good to get through the world when they leave school and become an adult. Well, then there's something wrong there, and that's criminal. And that's what you say.
I quote you.
Get angry at them.
I quote you all the time.
And punch them.
And I say it's criminal. But they can't believe or comprehend that the people at the top are psychopaths. They just can't comprehend that.
I don't mention that.
Because they're socially been conditioned to see these nice politicians with their families and their sharp suits and that. So they can't comprehend that we're being run by psychopaths and narcissists.
I mean, you don't need to go that deep. Let them find that out for themselves. Just get the point across. Their kids are getting lied to, and here's the damage that it can do. Yeah. That's why, and that's it. Forget about the Illuminati and moon landings and stuff like that. Get to the crux here, and that's your kids are getting lied to, which is not. They're meant to be you're handing them over. These people are meant to educate your kids so that they can get a good education, to get a job, so that you can have a comfortable life, go to the holiday, get the car, get the mortgage.
Why would these nice people in sharp suits and government lie to us? That's the thought process of them. They can't see why these people would lie to us. And even though you point out the lie, they're still socially conditioned to believe that they're run by similar people like themselves, and they're not. They're run by psychopaths. Yeah,
but you can quite easily point out that education, the kids are getting taught, is total rubbish.
Yeah, but some people don't.
So you just stick with that. Stick with that, and that's it. You don't need to.
But some people won't see it that way, even though it doesn't matter how much you point that out to them, that they won't believe you because they think it's a good education. They'd be totally conditioned to believe it because their kid's gone to university and they're becoming a doctor, and of course it's good. It's
the other aspect. The other aspect is that the parents are so caught up and busy with having to make money, pay mortgages and stuff. So. Yeah. There's loads of dynamics and different aspects to this, but everybody that's contributing and the way everybody's going about it is having an impact. It is spreading. It's reaching places. The other day, you were there, John, when we went to Glasgow, and with the lad at the end, when we handed him the card and he realised who we were. The judging by that lad, and if we put that video up, people will see it. That this boy was very much, a classic example of just regurgitating everything that he was ever told. So the chances of this guy actually knowing who we were and coming across a video that's maybe had a couple of thousand views is bizarre to me. So it told me that it's reaching places. At the end of the day, it makes sense. If we go to say a university and we speak to somebody and it gets a wee bit of gossip happening in that university, eventually lecturers are going to hear about it. Then it will spread to another university. They maybe be discussing it.
Exactly.
So it's these actions that we take really are having an effect. So I would encourage people to keep doing it and go out there and start questioning. Go to campuses like we've done previously and watch it spread. But there is loads of aspects to and complexities to people's state of mind and where they're at in regards to caring about where they live. But if we can show them that it's important to know and that it's exciting, I've said that to people before. It's trying to package it in a way and present it to people that it's worthwhile looking at, because there's something exciting in it. It's not doom and gloom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they're obviously not hiding it for our own benefit, are they? That's pretty clear.
So
I saw someone put a comment on somebody's video once saying that the Earth's actually an infinite plane, but that they've got to keep hidden from us to stop everyone from spilling into each other's worlds. But that's just theories, and it just seems to be an appeal to authority as well.
Yeah, the shepherd's got to keep us in our pens. Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that the whole purpose of the education system? Like what you were talking about earlier. I mean, that's what they're doing. They're training you to be basically to fall in line. They're training you to fall in line. They don't want critical thinkers. They don't want free thinkers. They want you to run the machine. They want you to type. They want you to put the data in the computer. They want you to fill out the paperwork.
Obedient slaves. That's all they want people to be.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why they don't have the liberal arts in the education system, and where I'm from anyway. I don't know about anywhere else, but with these tools and that, the lecturer guy that I had put into one of my videos, he says that if you learn these arts, you're a force to be reckoned with, because nobody's going to be able to lie. You're going to be able to assess and critically think about every aspect of your life, and they certainly don't want that. So it's obvious, with it not being in the education system.
Yeah, and that's the whole point of having all these employed shills to suppress people from becoming informed and becoming educated about the world in which they live. They don't want that because that's too dangerous to the system. So they can't control the system if everybody becomes independent critical thinkers. So you must suppress the truth so that people don't become informed.
Well, I think a lot of these people teaching at schools, colleges and universities are just as indoctrinated as the rest of us. They want to help people get onto these, big roles and things.
Yeah.
They don't realise that they're just encouraging them to be slaves.
If not more so, because they have far more invested in what they're doing. They've trained for so many years, and they're emotionally invested in it. And I suppose they think that they're completely informed. And I'm sure they are more informed in a lot of areas, but they will feel they're more informed about the world about them. So that takes a big step to actually say, oh, maybe what I've got is not right after all. Where it might be easier for a layperson to admit, oh, I was fooled. But for somebody who's got so much heavily invested in training over the years, it must be more difficult for them. Like Gavin explained, it's more difficult for them to actually acknowledge to themselves that, oh, I've been duped.
Yeah, but it's the same with, the lower levels in the space agencies, those that are building the parts for the supposed rockets going up to space and all that,
Yeah.
But what they don't realise is that they're just being paid to, as some would say, they're being paid to construct a firework.
Yeah,
because that's all they are, really.
It's decompartmentalised, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that's in every walk of life, compartmentalisation, the hierarchy in the structure. So.
Well, the thing is that I had epistemology guy on me hangout once, and he was just waffling on about how there'd have to be too many people involved because of all the the GPS, all that stuff, the survey and all that stuff. There'd have to be hundreds of thousands of people involved, but to be honest, they're probably so small details of what they're doing that they miss out the bigger picture.
It only takes one shepherd to control a flock of sheep.
Yeah.
And a dog.
And a dog.
These surveyors and things
probably
aren't even aware that they would have to take into account curvature, because they're probably told that the Earth's too big, but we know that that's a load of BS.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't really say anything. Yeah, I know. But it's just strange that they still teach it, though. Anybody that really hears it, and not to question it, I think it's...
Why were we never taught about the curvature formula at school and all that stuff? It should have been one of the main parts of maths to try and make people aware how to, measure the curvature, because, we wouldn't have got to this stage where we have flat earthers otherwise,
It would be obvious. Anybody without
well, exactly.
Without somebody,
but you'd have kids.
Where you go, Ali?
No, go on you.
Oh, you go, mate. You go.
All right. I would just think, because if we were taught that, is because I got brought up by the sea. I know for a fact if we got taught that as kids, we would have been out in rowing boats to see how to measure it. You know what I mean? We were out in the water all the time in rowing boats, swimming.
Careful not to go to the edge.
Yeah, but we'd be measured. I could assure you, we would have measured that if we knew, if we got taught that, even as kids. 100 100%, 9, 10-year-old kids, man, we would have been out trying that.
But I've talked to people studying maths, and they're not aware of the official statistics of the curvature of the Earth. So
yeah, strange, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely strange. Yeah,
you think that would be the first thing you get taught, eh?
Uh-huh.
You live in this ball, and this is the formula to measure the curvature.
Well, the thing is, I've heard globe. I think it might have been Jed that said it actually, that you actually need to use spherical geometry, but I figured that actually you wouldn't, because the quickest way to get to any point would always come back around the full circumference of the Earth. So you wouldn't need to use spherical geometry, because because if you was to go, say, west to east, if you wanted to go around like a shorter circumference, you'd have to keep adjusting. Like I said, it works on a flat Earth model as well. So,
but I've also had a problem with this circumference of sailing around the Earth. I mean, people only sail around the continents. They don't sail around the outer edges of the globe, because they go the shortest way to get a full circumference, and they have to stop off for supplies and ports. So they just sail around the continents rather than going to the edges.
Well, I heard that when Captain Cook went round it was something like 60,000 miles, and it took him ages to get around it.
So 70,000 miles, and he couldn't find.
Should have only took him 2 months to do it or something.
Yeah, but he recorded that he was sailing around the ice wall and he couldn't find an entrance in his journals.
These are just
again,
these are just stories. I don't trust any of these fucking books.
Well, I was thinking of something else recently. What if what they're telling us about the temperature in Antarctica and stuff like that isn't true? I don't understand how it could be so frigging cold. I know it would be cold, but I don't get how it could be. You'd think it would have parts of it melt during summer. In fact, I've seen some photographic evidence of parts of Antarctica melting in summertime, whatever, almost like an oasis.
But you look how they're dressed. Sometimes, depending on the time of year, they don't look that cold, and they don't have many layers on. And I'm thinking, well, if that really was down in Antarctica and the temperatures they're telling us, they would be covered in head to toe. Not even the nose would be exposed.
If it's windy.
Yeah.
But if it's windy, if it's minus, I've been out in minus 20 in shorts in shorts and a t-shirt, right, building a snowman for my daughter when I lived in Sweden. So it's like, but the sun was shining. But if it had been windy, if it was blowing a wind, I would have never been out there.
Yeah.
But because it's weird, the body actually adapts to the temperature. If you let it, you don't, concentrate on the, it's minus 20 or whatever. But your body kind of adapts to that, quite surprisingly enough. But as I say, as long as it's not windy, so I can understand why they.
Well, it would probably be pretty cold down there. But
it's strange, the temperature's extreme. It is strange right enough the.
Well, what I'm saying is people have been up, say, Mount McKinley, which is pretty far north, and it's pretty high up. So I wouldn't think it would be that much colder than that, to be honest.
Yeah, well,
you just try and find a way through it that's low down, I suppose, so you're not going up the high bits where it's colder. I suppose that's the best way you could get through it.
Yeah. What about that, dude? What do you think about that Admiral Byrd then, Del? Do you think that's just stories, or that made up, or what do you reckon to his wee?
Well, this is the problem, mate. It's just stories to me. What actual proof or anything that I can verify do we have with any of these stories? That's just the same problem. And we can't cherry pick, Admiral Byrd said this, or, whoever sailed round the wall and claimed it was 60,000. I can't, if I'm saying, I can't trust anything that they've offered me, I'm not going to trust any of that either. I think we just wander into the realms of speculation again and hypothesising, when in reality, we're never going to know until, the full exploration happens.
Yeah, I suppose it is. It's cherry picking, I suppose.
Aye, of course it is.
Yeah,
Well, how can you trust anything that comes from military?
Well, you can't.
I mean, he's he's in the military. It's part of the government. They're not going to let anything out that they don't want you to know about.
Although having said that, Karen, I think there was more naivety in the days of those early television. I think they were more naive about presenting stuff to the public.
Well, they probably weren't so worried anyway, because they probably thought, well, most of us are just going to die by the time it gets out anyway.
Well, you could look at it that way, or you could also look at it. I mean, a lot of people think that all the stuff that's happening has been planned out very far in advance.
Yes.
That could have just been part of the plan. Like,
It
you
could
know,
have been, yeah.
Well, yeah, with the predictive programming, like the Simpsons 9/11 programming.
Yeah, that's a strange one. You know, it is a bit strange, but you know, it's just one of the rabbit holes to go down in it to keep you off the flat earth.
Yeah, true. Yeah, because a lot of the Masonic symbols could also be, just done to kind of, because what's it going to achieve? Because most people don't believe in, these kind of coincidences. Most of them just think that it is just a random chance that people are doing these symbols, or some might think that they're just doing it to be edgy or whatever have you, with the devil horns and stuff like that,
Yeah, well, they're directed to do that, aren't they? You know, all these stars that are posing. The best way to find out is see who's doing the filming, who's directing, who the photographer is. You know, and you look at that and you'll find, but it's all just distraction, as I say. It's good, interesting reading. But it's good reading if you're. You know, once you get to the flat earth, there's nothing really you can prove about it. Now you've just got to teach people, right, look, we're being lied to, and this is how it's going, kind of thing. Because, you know, the water's level, end of story, finds its own, you know.
I suppose what it does do, it illuminates the fact that nothing's real. You know, it's all fake, it's all lies.
Yeah, exactly.
We can't be relied to see anything that's true, especially on the television, you know.
Oh my God, man.
It's all lies and fake and propaganda.
It tells lies to your vision, that's right, yeah.
And your hearing as well. But to your hearing as well, you know, they've been studying sound. Sound, there you go, Del. Sound actually used to be a natural science. It used to be a studied science a few hundred years ago. And they stopped it. I think they must have stopped it because they learnt what they needed and fucking kept it hidden. You know what I mean? Because I've got a book there from 1800 and something.
It's incorporating the technology. Karen, you were saying Isa can't get on.
Yeah, I can see in the chat he's been trying to get on, and I guess his link isn't working.
Can I just cut in here, people? And this is probably relevant to people in chat as well. Apparently, Firefox is stopping supporting any kind of plugins, and that includes the Hangouts thing. So they're advising everybody to use a different browser until they get that sorted out. So whether that's the issue or not, the link's gone out. He's just had the link and he can't connect using it. So I've asked him if he'll try with a different browser. Yeah. Alternatively, I'm using Opera at the moment, and that seems to be working okay. I think that's on all platforms, isn't it? Opera. So try that out, peeps, and we might have a bit of a smoother ride on it.
But as far as the hand signal things, you know, what comes to my mind is that Wizard of Oz, you know, any fancy distraction to give the illusion of something more powerful, when really it's fucking pathetic, weak, insecure men behind the curtain, you know. But
even the Beatles did it, didn't they? There's a picture of one of them were doing the devil horns, and one of them was doing the 666 sign. But you see a lot of
they're all directed. They're directed to do that. That's just for the masses. One part of the public that looks into that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? That's all. That's why they fling these things out. They've got us all in categories. A load of shite to the lot of us to keep us occupied with it.
I can't get into it myself. I just find all that rather pathetic, and I just think,
it's not relevant, is it?
No, I don't take any interest in it.
It's getting people in a state of mind to point their finger at some external baddie.
That's it.
All they need to do is when you, as I said before, you know, Marty's, when you're pointing at your like that, you've got three fingers pointing inward. You know, sort yourself out. You know, and you don't need to worry about what these characters are up to. You know.
There's East. I think he made it in.
Shout out to Captain Pat Ankit. He was doing a video and he was saying the exact same thing on his video.
Yeah. Hey, what up?
How you doing,
man?
Yeah, cool. Here we go. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
Good.
Fine, mate.
Nice. Yo, brothers, I am loving your show, man. Del, you're a fucking champion, bro. Keep it up. I fucking ever since I saw you with a soccer ball, I was like, this guy is the shit. I was like back in the day when you first did it, you were like, here, this is all the freaking proof you need. I was like, this motherfucker's on point. And then I saw you getting attacked so hard. I saw you had to beat all the trolls. Dude, I fucking love what you're doing right now, bro. Great. Yeah, great shit. And shout out to Ali B. We've talked before. What's up, brother?
Yeah, we have. I haven't got you on. I don't know what chat, Google Chat you said I was on. I don't even know how to find you.
I only remember it just because we were rapping on like Free Chan back in the day. So it was like I thought maybe that we had linked up, but I got a little bit shook. I got to say, a couple weeks back when I saw I felt like there was like a dark energy just fucking coming down on everybody in this flat Earth world, like over in Poncho Chan and all that weirdo business. And I was like, wait a minute. And I bailed out, so I didn't know if I disconnected any links that I had with people before.
Ah, right.
So, because I kind of just bugged out, man. I was like, wait a minute, like, who the hell is, like, everyone started acting a little bit silly. And something I really appreciate about your guys' talk over here is that you guys keep it on point. There's some scientific, conversations. And there's also just, I don't know, man, just a really nice vibes over here. So thank you for the invitation. Cool. And I almost want to feel, I feel like I recognize this, it's that Karen, if I'm mistaken. There we go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Dude, are you East Coast?
I am.
Yo, have you ever heard of, what do you call it? I'm trying to think of a place, like a health food store that used to be on Broad Street. And maybe, I don't know if you'd know that place. There was a health food store back in the day we used to all go to in Jersey.
I don't know. I'm in North Carolina.
Gotcha. Oh, forgive me. You look just familiar then. I don't know what it is. But, yeah, dude. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
Could be deja vu, eh?
I think so. Maybe. I have no idea. Very cool, though.
So what you've been up to tonight? So what you've been looking at? You've been doing much reading or researching?
Yeah,
or
man.
Just
actually, yeah. You know what I was getting into was I started watching into because I've been into what a sextant is and how to like find latitude and stuff like that.
The stars, the stars.
Yeah, and the sun. And I started looking into. I thought it very interesting. Newton had actually forbid they were trying to figure out how to figure out longitude, and fucking Sir Isaac Newton he forbid the idea that time would be used to calculate longitude, and it's what we use today. You know what I mean? But these guys, these champions of science, they actually didn't even want to let the idea that time could be used to figure out longitude into the competition that they had. These guys they've been fighting free thought for so long. And another point, anytime anyone says that they think that flat Earth is dangerous, just remind them that in the 80s, they said rap music was dangerous to humanity. And in the 60s, they said the civil rights movement was an enemy to humanity. So these same people have been trying to, bring us back into the dark ages by saying that it's the enemy of humanity to discuss these ideas, when it's quite apparent that anyone who's saying that is an enemy to humanity and needs to get called out as such, because you're the same people that, it's like I was talking with Shroomy, and it's like, okay, if you're going to side with these people, just remember that they're the same people that said that hip hop was bad for humanity. You know what I mean? That jazz music was bad for humanity. And then you look at them 70 years later, and they're who goes to jazz festivals but old white dudes? It's like these are the same people that fought the very people that brought that music into fashion, man. It's always been like that, man. So
I was looking into that, where it kind of seemed to happen after, when we came out the Dark Ages. It seemed to kicked off about the around Newton's time, about the 1600s. And then I think they just had the big push in the 1700s just to get rid of this. As I say, this science that they're doing, in my opinion, is just to get rid of just to say that God doesn't exist. And they've been doing it since the 1600s.
Well, you start looking into the whole notion of where this living on a ball, this living on a ball is a Greek notion from a bunch of people that used to Aristotle was treated like a gay boy, the same way that I forget what it's called, pedestry or something, where they raise up kids and they have sex with the fucking kids and they teach them philosophy and all this stuff. And this whole notion of living on a ball, this metaphysical concept, comes from a bunch of gay Greek guys who basically were, practicing sodomy with children. And this is their lineage. This is their scientific lineage.
And if you look down on the people, and they look down on the people as well with disdain. You know, the peasants. If you read any Aristotle, Plato, or when they're pontificating about, you know, the ignorant masses, you know, it just tells you, if you read any of that, it shows you the disdain that they hold, you know, they hold us peasants, or the ignorant, or the unclean, or the wicked, or whatever you want to call us, man.
Well, you know what's crazy though is that you also have this. I mean, you know, this becomes it kind of inverses on itself, because the idea is that, look, like, I happen to think that when great men would get together and discuss these ideas around, you know, the pitchfork wielding masses. I mean, think about it. Flat Earth is an advanced idea, and then you start noticing that all the so-called unwashed masses want to crucify you for talking about flat Earth. It's like, I could understand why you might want to, like, you know, disappear into the dark and talk about these awesome ideas. Like, I can get that kind of idea, but you know, we're up against such a complicated Gordian knot.
Yeah, but to get attacked for it, yeah, you know, just to get attacked for
in a way though,
the
hostility could be a good sign though, that, you know, these people, you know, are really desperate to cling on to their ball, but they're just about to probably, you know, ditch it soon, some of these people.
I think, you know, the only thing, this is what I think a lot of people on that ball Earth tip are trying to say, though, and this is something I can respect, is that, like, what I don't want is, I don't want someone that just believes in flat Earth because because of Kyrie Irving. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be surrounded by people that don't think. Like, I came to this conclusion after many hours of independent research. Like, you know, no one can take this away from me. You know, it, like, you know,
that's it. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, and like any of us, that's what it has to be. It's an independent search, and you decide. Like, I would imagine everyone here can kind of recall the day when they came out of the flat Earth closet. You know what I mean? It was like, fuck it, I'm a flat earther. What, bitch? You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know what to fucking tell you, you know, like, but this is how I see it. And you have to be strong enough to do that for yourself. And if you're not, then you know, it's like, I look at some of these guys, there's a couple characters out there. It's like, you know, look at the guy P. Mars. One week he's a flat earther. Next week he's a ball earther. He's just which way the wind blows. You know, some of these guys, they're just straight up, whichever way their friends are looking at it is how they're going to look at it.
Well, that's it. You know, and that's what will happen. You know, as soon as, you know, reaches a point and it becomes cool to talk about it and be part of it, then you see these people will just, you know, follow that tide. And that's what will happen. Yeah.
But those people aren't being honest with themselves, because I'm sure we'll all agree that you can't come across this awareness and this information and then turn your back on it.
Yeah, and you almost can't make someone a flat earther. Like I've, you know, it's like you can show them what led you to believe that it's a flat earth. But honestly, like, I've given up I'm not trying to argue with someone to the end of the earth about it, because it's so many different pieces of a puzzle that you have to put together that, like, for me, flat earth was like, of course they fucking lied about the flat earth. It's like, once you realize, like, they lied to you about health, and that, you know, and you got to learn how to heal yourself, and then you got to learn how to politically align yourself, and then realize that's bullshit, and then you realize historically they were lying to you about everything. Yeah. It's
but what we can do, though, is discuss with people about the absurdities of the globe model and ask them, how can that actually happen in real life?
Agreed. Oh yeah, it's like, agreed, man. That's all you can do, is show them that, hey, maybe you might have been misled.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's up to them to look into it. But, you know, if someone's going to, like, you know, if you tell someone that, like, hey, maybe you don't have to go to the doctor and you could put some apple cider vinegar in your body and get better, you know, that you're not going to convince, like, you know, your old mom who's going to just go to the doctor and who's on 20 medications, and they're not going to get convinced. They're too wrapped up in it.
Well, also because who am I to them? Their trust in authority. They've been socially conditioned to accept an authority, not by a layman in the street like me. So whatever I tell them that might save their life, they're not really going to listen to it, because their doctor is telling them to have trust in them and have faith in authority. So they will run along to the doctor and have the 20 tablets rather than take this natural treatment that can save their life.
The problem with a lot of people is, you know, I know some people who have been on certain medications for a long time, and they never had any testing, you know, for, you know, when people come off these medications, and there's serious problems with that. You know, and they don't have a method or a way of getting the people off of these medications that they've been on for all this time. So you know, there's so many problems with it. But listen, people, I've got some stuff I need to do. I need to go and do a bit of driving. So I'm sorry for cutting it short, Issa.
Pleasure.
I just wanted to add something, because a lot of these spinning ball earth believers, they think there's a god, but you got to ask yourself, why would a god create a spinning ball that's just, you know, going through space at all these contradicting speeds? It just seems so crazy.
And as Gavin pointed out, how does God keep an eye on everything on a round ball? How can you see round all the sides at once?
Well, apparently he's infinite, so he can see around the back of his head or something, you know.
Yeah,
it's all just theories.
Real quick, if it's cool, I wanted to shout out, there was an early group of people that were out here over at Free Chan, and it looks like they might be starting up again. And I think like real, like honest, free-thinking people's, like, you know, we could, you know, we have a place maybe to really discuss these ideas. I just, I feel incumbent just to even shout them out, because it's where I kind of pick my bones out here. But thank you for having me on the show. Del, I think you're a champion out here, man. Keep it rocking. And Ali B, it's always good to see you, brother. Jamie.
Yeah, nice one, Issa.
Thank you so much for having me. I hope I can come back on again. And Karen, I'm still thinking you understand. I still think I recognize you from somewhere. Forgive me. And Team For That, thanks for the link, brother.
Nice one, dude. We'll talk again, yeah?
Yes, God willing there.
So,
all right, keep contact.
Please link up. Yeah. Bless, Del.
So,
thanks for having me on, too. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, Karen. Anytime.
Hey, Karen, nice one.
Appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me on as well, Del.
Cheers, Jamie. Cheers, guys.
Jamie, nice one, mate.
Ali, cheers, man.
Aye, nice one, Del. Take it easy. We'll speak to you soon.
Cheers, folks. See you later.
Apologies,
right, John.
Apologies to anybody who was waiting to come on. Next Saturday we're going to be at 3 in the afternoon. We have Eric's going to come on for a chat, so that'll be at 3 o'clock next Saturday. I'll stick it with
3 in the afternoon. That's a bit different from your usual time.
Yeah, it's because Eric's obviously in Thailand, so we agreed that, you know, we'll get a chat. So we'll look forward to that. So hopefully people can make that, you know. But again, I apologise to anybody who was in chat that wanted to come on. There'll be some stuff coming up during the week as well. So again, Jamie, Cam, Ali, Issa, thanks very much for coming.
Thank you, brother.
Thanks, mate.
Take care. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye to all in the chat. Cheerio.
Yeah, peace in the
Cheers,
chat.
guys. See ya.
Cheers, everybody.